On August 12, 2005, an additional 15 hours of radio transmissions and transcripts of interviews with firefighters was finally released to the public. Firefighters described two events consistent with a controlled demolition: bright flashes from inside the building and a number of crackling sounds before the tower collapsed. The collapse of the World Trade Center was picked up by Columbia University's observatory in Palisades, New York. The South Tower registered as a 2.1 earthquake. The North Tower registered as a 2.3 earthquake. Won Young Kim told Chris Bolin that their seismographs pick up underground explosions from a quarry 20 miles away. These blasts are caused by 80,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate and cause local earthquakes between magnitude 1 and 2. The 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center did not even register because it was not coupled to the ground. During the collapse, most of the energy of the falling debris was absorbed by the towers and the neighboring structures, converting them into rubble and dust, or causing other damage. Mark Loiseau, the president of Controlled Demolition Incorporated, told American Free Press that in the basements of the World Trade Center were 47 central support columns connected to the bedrock. Hotspots of literally molten steel were discovered more than a month after September 11th. These incredibly hot areas were found at the bottoms of the elevator shafts, down 7 basement levels. The molten steel was found 3, 4, and 5 weeks later, when the rubble was being removed. He said that molten steel was also found underneath World Trade Center 7. The highest temperature was in the east corner of the South Tower, where a temperature of 1,377 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded. The molten steel in the basements was more than double that temperature. Do you still think that jet fuel brought down the World Trade Center? In all the videos of the collapses, Explosions can be seen bursting from the building 20 to 30 stories below the demolition wave.
Initial ejection is totally horizontal. It comes out at high speed at a horizontal rate of up to 200 feet per second. Now, the only reason it has a vertical component is because gravity takes hold of the material in that squib and slowly accelerates that. So at first the vertical velocity is very small because the gravitational acceleration has not yet taken hold of it, so it mostly comes out vertically. Eventually, as it travels in the horizontal direction, and how far it travels depends upon the resistance of the air to the material that's there. And some of the material travels a long way. Well, then the gravitational acceleration slowly builds up a greater vertical velocity and eventually hits the ground at a very high rate of speed, almost as high as it started out with, and does major damage to whatever it hits on the ground. In the photograph of the squib, we estimated the initial velocity. The squib comes out almost horizontally, but from the distance it has traveled out versus the width of the North Tower, which is about 205 feet, as I recall. And that squib is approximately equal to one-third of that distance. And it has developed in about 1/2 of a second. So we would estimate that the squib material at the advance is traveling out more than 140 feet per second.
Etienne Sarre was filming his documentary, World Trade Center, the first 24 hours, and caught both collapses on tape. Watch carefully. The tripod shakes 12 seconds before the North Tower begins collapsing. You're probably asking, if there were bombs in the building, how would they get there without anyone noticing? Ben Fountain, a financial analyst who worked in the World Trade Center, told People magazine that in the weeks before 9/11, there were a number of unannounced and unusual drills, where sections of both the Twin Towers and Building 7 were evacuated for security reasons.